Riding a motorcycle often requires much more preparation than simply driving a car. Not just counting specialized gear, a motorcyclist must equip their bike with plenty of items to ensure safety, comfort, and convenience. And I'm not just talking about the big box of prophylactics required for all the hot chicks that you're going to attract. So here are 7 items you might not expect to find on a person's motorcycle. It may not be initially surprising to learn that most motorcyclists carry tools on them, as every motorcycle comes with an incredibly small toolkit from the factory. But for non-riders or new riders, it might be surprising at the sheer magnitude of tools that some riders are carrying. I often find myself in awe of how highly equipped some riders are. It's like the ADV dad went to Harbor Freight on Black Friday and spent their entire kid's college fund. So what kind of tools are we talking about? To manage the most basic mechanical mishaps on the road, a motorcycle toolkit will consist of varying size wrenches and Allen keys, needle nose pliers, and screwdrivers. And of course, every rider should carry a handful of zip ties with them as well. Seriously, they come crazy handy. Frankly, every person walking around the face of the earth should just keep a few zip ties in their pocket at all times. There really are infinite opportunities to utilize the highly esteemed functionality of the simple, humble zip tie. And what if you come across a war criminal and you have to make a citizen's arrest until law enforcement arrives? You gotta zip tie him. What if a button falls off your jeans? Fashion your zip ties into a belt. Really, the possibilities are endless. Beyond basic tools and zip ties, there's more specific items that can be complete lifesavers on a motorcycle. A flashlight, for instance, deserves a place on every motorcycle. You can get those tiny ones that can put out a lot of light with not a lot of space. Fixing a bike on the side of the road is already painstaking. Doing it in the dark, it's hell on earth. Flat tires are a common obstacle for motorcyclists. We obviously don't have the capacity to carry an entire spare wheel and tire like automobiles, so having a plug kit and an inflator is a lifesaver. If you're running tubed tires, keep a tow truck company saved in your contact list because no plug is gonna get you out of that jam. Some super hardened ADV boys will keep tire spoons and a fresh tube or a patch kit on their bike, but unless you have a center stand, straps, and a stupendous amount of patience, pulling off the wheel, removing the tire, swapping the tube, and then putting it all back together is pretty darn involved for the side of the road. Motorcycles inherently present more risk for ride-halting mechanical issues, so having a highly equipped toolkit on board is pretty cheap insurance compared to the price of a tow. A lot of motorcyclists carry an unexpected amount of tech on their bikes. If you're just doing basic commuting or riding around town to a coffee shop, you might not think it much at all, but if you're doing longer scenic rides, having some extra tech gadgets may prove fruitful. Having a mounting system for a smartphone is great when you need it for navigation, but many riders opt to have an entirely separate GPS unit. A GPS unit offers many advantages. One, you don't have to worry about the safety of your phone being exposed on your handlebar. Around here, we use rock form mounts and cases, and I have zero qualms with their protection and security of my phone, but if you plan on doing some extreme off-road adventure riding or expect a torrential downpour, I could understand the anxiety of having a $1,000 smartphone out in the open. But many people also like to keep their phone tucked away to avoid distractions that may come. The endless onslaught of push notifications from Uber Eats, advertising, free delivery from Whataburger might detract from your motorcycling zen state. A GPS unit is not only more rugged, but you can download specific maps and trail files, which is a game changer if you can be riding on some less traveled areas, especially outside of cell phone service. If it's downloaded, you can always know where you're going. Motorcycling and photography and videography also go hand in hand. When riding on a scenic route or tackling some challenging terrain, lots of riders like to stop and snap some photos of their accomplishment and show off their bikes against a stunning backdrop. Motorcyclists can be pretty vain, you know? Who wouldn't want to show off their bike and amazing rides they've accomplished to other riders? That being said, it's not uncommon for many bikes to be packed full of camera equipment and extra batteries. It's also pretty common for riders to install an SAE USB charging lead to be able to charge their smartphones or other equipments on long journeys. And look, motorcycles get stolen. A lot. It's the unfortunate truth. If you leave your bike parked outside overnight in Miami, it could very well be on a boat out of the country in less than an hour after you parked it. Or so I've heard from people who live in Miami. I don't live there, but that could be the sort of urban motorcycling legend, but the fact that many motorcycles are pretty easily stolen is the unfortunate truth. To mitigate this, or at least prevent it to the best of their ability, many riders carry an extensive suite of security devices to prevent their bikes from being stolen, or to more easily allow police to track it down should it wander off. One of the most common security measures a motorcyclist will take is using a disc lock. A disc lock is an incredibly convenient way to further immobilize your motorcycle once it's parked. By locking onto your brake disc and preventing your bike from rolling, it's far more convenient than carrying a huge heavy chain and padlock around. With its small form factor, a disc lock can be tucked away into a backpack or saddlebag and be brought out when you need it. Just don't forget you put it there when you go to leave for your destination, or you won't get very far and you'll probably give yourself a bit of a scare. I've done it before. For additional measures, many riders equip their bikes with GPS trackers. There are different trackers that have different features, but for instance, some will send a notification to your phone once your bike leaves the area in which it was parked. It is also not uncommon for riders to use a locking carabiner to safely store their helmets on their bike once it's parked. Motorcycles are definitely disadvantaged in the security department, so do your best to take measures to keep your bike and belongings safe. Lock your luggage, use a disc lock, get a tracker if you want, but that won't keep that bike 100% safe. These bike thieves are pros and can cut locks and find trackers. So whenever possible, park your bike inside a nice warm garage, give it a soft blanket and throw a bowl of fresh water, and it will be there happy and waiting for you in the morning. It might surprise you the amount of different items motorcyclists carry on them when they ride, but what you may find equally surprising is how much time I spend working at my desk. Of course, I am out on motorcycles shooting content, but I spend just as much time on the computer writing, editing, and producing videos, and just generally managing the channel and spending a lot of time with the degens on Discord. And frankly, I've gotten pretty sick of using my busted old office chair every day that was just no longer comfortable or supportive during long days of office work. I mean, look at this thing. That's 16 years of service. Yeah, it's past its prime. Amidst my search for a new chair, I came across FlexiSpot, who invited me to try out their C7 ergonomic premium office chair. It's got tons of adjustability that allows you to dial in your comfort in various seating positions. It's like motorcycle suspension, you know? The more adjustability suspension has, the more you can dial in your settings for your size and riding style to get the optimal performance. And that's the experience I'm having with the C7 from FlexiSpot. With the self-adaptive dynamic system, a weight limit of 300 pounds, and a comfortable, breathable mesh design, the C7 is a great option for anyone spending a lot of time at their desk. FlexiSpot offers free 30-day returns and a 10-year warranty, so you got nothing to lose. If you need a chair that supports your back, adapts to various seating positions, has a large enough cushion, then the C7 is your perfect choice. I really like the footrest, to be honest. I can see myself kicking back and watching lots of MotoGP content that way. FlexiSpot is actually having an anniversary sale up to 65% off now and a chance to win free orders. Use my exclusive code C782150 to purchase the C7 now. For more discounts, check out the FlexiSpot link and use my exclusive promo code in the description box to unlock more savings. Thanks for the support on today's video, FlexiSpot. Now let's get back into it. Now look, getting rained on is never fun. Getting rained on when you have to maintain focus and clarity while operating a powerful two-wheeled machine is even less fun. That's why, for even the rare instance of getting caught in an unforeseen storm, many riders will keep a full set of waterproof rain gear on their bike. A raincoat and rain pants can be easily slipped on over your existing gear, providing a nice barrier to help keep you dry. A lot of motorcycle luggage options that are made of textile fabric will not be entirely waterproof, so you can also come with those waterproof covers you can slap on if Mother Nature chooses to rain on your parade. That's also why it's a good consideration to choose waterproof boots and gloves if you intend on doing longer rides. When you're in the saddle for hours on end and moving through all sorts of different places, it really is impossible to have a 100% accurate weather prediction. Especially recently, I feel like weather is completely unpredictable. Year-long wildfires, weekly hurricanes, impromptu ice storms. What deity have we angered, you know? On a similar note, it is also not a poor idea to have some fresh, dry underlayers on your bike as well, because even with rainproof gear, if it's raining hard enough, you're still gonna get moisture in your underlayers. So having a fresh, dry t-shirt and socks to throw on once the weather clears up can make a huge difference in your comfort, and you gotta stay comfortable on your bike. Comfort equals focus, and focus means good, safe, and fun riding. That's really the through line of this video. So here we go, breaking the fourth wall again. You think you're watching a video right now, but it's written out ahead of time. This is planned. I'm not just freestyling it for 14 minutes. I mean, I'd have like a 500 IQ if I could do that. But anyway, the through line is to stress the importance of preparation in regards to your physical comfort. Yeah, having the means to fix a flat tire is great, but I think what people consider less is the mental and physical toll that riding a motorcycle for a long duration of time can have. And so many of the things riders carry are meant to ensure and prolong the comfort on their bike. Because if you're uncomfortable and fatigued, you won't have the clarity to operate properly on your bike. And a massive impedance for comfort and focus is hunger. So riders often keep snacks and hydration right on the bike. It's pretty easy for time to melt away on your motorcycle, and before you know it, hours have gone by and you haven't eaten since breakfast. So you're hungry, you're thirsty, maybe you got low blood sugar and you start feeling weak and fatigued. Having something on you that you can easily grab and eat and drink at your next gas stop or scenic overlook will help keep you fresh and alert. You know, having some trail mix or granola bars, maybe an electrolyte beverage of your choosing.
It's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
Keep your calories up, your electrolytes up, and you'll have a lot more enjoyable ride. And as I keep saying, motorcycle riding is a physical activity that requires focus and attentiveness, so in the instance of a physical injury, taking proper precautions and being able to care for yourself if you get hurt is a pertinent issue. Sure, if you're out somewhere and you get a gaping flesh wound, you can drive yourself in a car to the nearest hospital while you bleed out in the seat. I mean, have you seen the prices of ambulances these days? You might as well take an Uber instead. Just kidding. Don't take my advice. I am not a licensed medical practitioner, but anyway, if you're out somewhere on your motorcycle and you get an injury completely unrelated to riding, being able to properly cover a cut or scraped knee is keep it clean is ideal. If you got a cut on your hand, you probably don't want to stick it down your dirty and sweating riding glove, you know? Even something as minor as a headache can become debilitating on the road when you're out in the hot sun with wind noise, car fumes, and a loud exhaust. You'll go nuts if you have to endure that while suffering from a headache, so a first aid kit with basic bandages, ointments, and over-the-counter pain medications is a worthwhile addition to any motorcyclist kit. And lastly, motorcycling can be dirty. Your visor can get caked with bugs, so you can get covered in dirt and debris. Your hands can get covered in grease and oil, so having some wet wipes, shop towels, and hand sanitizer will come in handy routinely. Seriously, I've been keeping wet wipes in the back of my bikes for years, and you will not believe how many times they come in handy. If you spray gas all over your gas tank because you tried to fill it all the way to the tippy top and the gas station is out of paper towels to keep next to those gross window squeegees, well, good thing you have some rags on you to clean your bike off and some wet wipes to wash the gas off your hands. Also, when you're out motorcycling, sometimes you can end up in the absolute middle of nowhere with no gas or amenities. You might find yourself in a situation where nature calls and you must perform the ever so lovely forested bowel elimination. Those blue shop towels are probably the most expensive things you can use for toilet paper other than a silk handkerchief, but it sure beats using leaves or your own sock or just going in your pants like a NASCAR driver, because I guess that's not unheard of. Sorry for being crass, but it's part of life, you know? And it's something you may not have really considered when packing up your bike, but in the instance you need these things, you'll certainly be happier you had them. What does your motorcycle loadout look like? This is honestly just scratching the surface. There are many things that are great to have on your bike when you need them. Or are you just rocking your phone and wallet and riding with just a hope and a prayer of good fortune? Let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. You are one of these special ones. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so, and I'll catch you on the next one. Fact: the world's oldest dog lived to 29.5 years old. Goodbye. Boys, our time is up here. It's a little sad, but this video is over. However, this MT-09 SP is up for grabs on yammynoob.co, and the coolest part is if you become a member, not only is it the best way to support the show, but you get access to chat with me on Discord. So if you want the conversation to keep going, become a member on yammynoob.co in the link in the description down below. But if you want a little bit of distance between me and you think I'm a weird guy, which is completely fair, hit the link right over here. Check out this next Yammy Noob video. You will not regret it. I guarantee it. I'm sure it's top tier stuff.